I was so stupid. I was so stupid. So I was so dumb. Rewind about 2.5, 3 years ago, and this is when I really got into personal finance. And the reason for that is because I was so dumb. I made the worst financial decision of my life, and it literally cost me thousands of dollars. And because of that, I kicked my butt into gear, and that's really what started all of this. Now, I can't stand it when people throw money away. I can't stand when I lose money, and it's really just kicked off everything that I do regarding personal finance. I had just barely graduated from college, and I had gotten my first big boy job, and my parents said, hey, okay, now that you have a job that actually makes money, you can't use the family car anymore, and so you're gonna have to give that back, get a car of your own, you can pay for it now. I did the responsible thing, right? I went out, I got a good, reliable car. It was used, and it was in great shape. It was a 2008 Honda Accord. It had just over, I think, 100,000 miles at the time. I bought it for $10,500. At the time, this was a great car. It worked great for me. It was super reliable. I never had any issues with it. And I actually thought it looked really cool. I mean, it had some black rims, and it was nice and white, and it was decently fast. It was a really good car, right? So one day, my girlfriend at the time, she pulls up into my driveway, and she had a brand new, at least to her, car. She had bought it from a dealership. It was maybe 2 years old. It was nice. It was shiny. And so I was thinking, wow, that's a pretty nice car. I think I want one too. What I did was, on an impulse, that very next day, I drove down to the Toyota dealership. And mind you, there was nothing wrong with my car. Like, it was perfectly fine, no issues whatsoever. So I pull up to the Toyota dealership, I start looking around. 4 hours later, I drive off the lot with a mostly new, it was used, but it was mostly new Toyota Camry. Let me tell you, friends don't let friends buy Camrys. That was the dumbest decision of my entire life. Listen to this. So I bought my Honda for $10,500, right? Over the year and a half that I had it, I was able to pay it down to $8,000. When I pulled up into the Toyota dealership, what I did was I traded in my Honda, and they gave me $6,500. So I was already negative equity, $1,500. Now here's the kicker. I bought a 2015 Toyota Camry that was really worth $13,000. I paid $17,500 for this car. I could have driven 200 miles down the road to Salt Lake City and bought that exact same car for $13,000. But I was smart and paid $17,500 for it. You might be saying, okay, that's not a big deal. Like, you can just, pay down the difference and drive it until the value is equal to what you owe on it and sell it. Great, no problem, right? It gets worse. So I now have a car that is incredibly overpriced, and I have $1,500 in negative equity. So that comes out to $6,000. I'm killing myself. I can't. Every time I talk about this subject, it drives me crazy. It makes me so mad. Okay, we'll get through this. I'll keep talking. So 6 months later, I have a friend that drives up into my driveway. Guess what? In a brand new shiny pickup. My Toyota, which again had no issues with it whatsoever, is just a little bit less shiny than her pickup. So guess what I do? I start shopping around for pickup trucks. I can't sell this Toyota because I'm upside down on it. I owe $6,000 on it. That's just to get out of it. That's not to pay it off. I owe $6,000 on this car before I can even get rid of it. So what I do is I list the vehicle for sale. I find a buyer for it, and they offer me $12,500 for it. I say, deal, that's great. I can get rid of this car, I can buy a pickup, it'll be perfect. What I do is I go into the bank and I say, hey, I have all this negative equity in this vehicle, what can I do? Being the kind bank that they were, they said, oh, it's fine, we can just get you a personal loan that will pay off what you owe on it, and then we can sell this car and hand over the title to them. Great idea, right? So I take out a personal loan for $6,500 to bring the balance of that Toyota down to $12,500 so I can sell it to somebody else. Like I said, talking about this story makes me freaking cringe. I cannot believe that I was this stupid. I sell this car to somebody else. I now have a personal loan owing $6,500 on a vehicle that I don't even have anymore. And on top of that, I go out and buy a pickup truck for $25,000. I know. This loan plagued me for 28 months. I shoved it in a closet and I didn't think about it, and I just made the minimum payments on it until finally I had enough money to completely pay it off. Because of that experience, I learned so much. One, when you're gonna buy a car, shop around. Make sure that you're not paying dealership prices. Make sure you haggle, and make sure you buy it used. Don't buy a 2-year-old car off of a lot. Two, if you're gonna trade in a vehicle, make sure you sell it private party. My Honda, I only owed $8,000 on it. I probably at the time could have resold it for maybe $9,500 and made a profit on that vehicle to put down on my new one. Eventually, I got enough money. I think I had $3,500 left on this loan. I finally, just in one lump sum, I paid it off. And you know what? It was the most freeing experience of my life. Had my wife known me at the time, I don't think she would have married me. I think she would have said, you are an idiot. I'm not gonna marry somebody who has the fiscal sense of a 4-year-old. As we were dating, it was kind of a sore subject, but we kind of titled it My Stupid Loan, which is exactly what it was. The point of telling you all this is that I made a really stupid decision. And that's really what kickstarted my whole journey into personal finance. So while I may have made a really stupid financial decision once, from that moment, I've made a lot of really good financial decisions. And that experience taught me so much. Before I do any deal, before I do any large transaction, I think about everything that's involved. At that time, I just wanted a new shiny car. There was nothing wrong with what I had. But I was keeping up with the Joneses. I was trying to do everything that everybody else was because I thought, hey, having a shiny car, that'll make me happy and that'll make other people think that I'm cool. And nothing could be further from the truth. Personal finance is all about living within your means. It's about driving maybe not as nice of a vehicle as you would like. By doing that now, it'll set you so much further ahead than everybody else in the future because you're not trying to keep up with the Joneses. And you know what? Here's the interesting thing. After the initial excitement of those new vehicles wore off, it was just a car. There was nothing special about it. All it was a vehicle to get me from point A to point B. The new car smell, it wore off, and it was really just a way to transport me from my house to work to the grocery store. It didn't matter. The shine eventually wore off, and here's a secret. Nobody cares what you drive. You're the only person who cares what you drive. I constantly think about Sam Walton. Sam Walton is the guy that owns Walmart. Is Sam Walton still alive? I don't know. Let's find out. Sam Walton is not still alive. Sam Walton died in 1992. There he is. Hi, Sammy. Hey. Anyway, so I once heard a story about Sam Walton. At the time of his death, he was the richest man in America. He was the founder of Walmart, he was the founder of Sam's Club, but he didn't live a lavish lifestyle. Sam Walton was best known for driving around an old, beat-up, brown pickup truck. He would pull up to one of his stores, he wouldn't be wearing a suit, he wouldn't be wearing anything fancy, he'd be wearing jeans, and he would walk into his store and you would have no idea that he wasn't just a regular average customer. But nobody knew it. Nobody was any wiser because he was so frugal and he just lived like an average person. And that is really the secret to personal finance. That is the secret to getting ahead in life. If you're buying all the fancy cars, if you're buying the fancy clothes, you will never ever get ahead. Now, listen, this was a terrible, awful, stupid financial decision that I made. But like I said before, it really changed the way that I looked at money and thought about money, and it really is what got me interested in personal finance. So I may have made a stupid decision that cost me $6,500, but that single lesson alone has paid me back tenfold in dividends because of the lesson that I learned. If you've made dumb financial decisions, it's okay. What I want to stress is that there are very few financial mistakes that you can't recover from. Yeah, we may have bought the dumb car, we may have gotten the house that's too big, we may have gotten the apartment that's too much for us. Those are all things that we can fix. And with a little bit of hard work and living below your means, you can finally break that paycheck to paycheck cycle and achieve financial independence. Ooh, that was a bad clap. That's it. Oh, that was bad too. That's it for this video, guys. Thanks for watching. Hopefully you learned something. And don't be stupid like me. Do you hear me? Don't be stupid.